The mother had prepared a sumptuous meal and then the sister handed the black boy a plate, but the boy only took a small spoonful of scrambled eggs and a few slices of vegetables, worried that he would be offended if he took too much. The boy quietly took a small piece of cake to add to his dinner when no one was looking. The family sat around on the couch relaxing and enjoying the excitement of the game and the food. Annie looked around and realized that Mike was the only one sitting alone at the table. So she turned off the TV without consulting her husband and gathered the family around the table to enjoy a loving lunch together. In this warm moment, her sister took the initiative to extend her left hand to Mike. And Mike, guided by little Sean, also extended his hand. And the whole family held hands and thanked God together. Mike felt like he was in a dream world as he watched the kindness of strangers in front of him. After the meal, Annie noticed that Mike wore the same old t-shirt every day and decided to buy him some new clothes. But Mike insisted that he had his own clothes, but had left them at his birth mother's rental house. Annie had no choice but to drive her brand new limousine into a rundown neighborhood where a few delinquent youths eyed Annie curiously. Just as Annie was about to get out of the car, Mike quickly unlocked the door, giving Annie a firm look that she should stay in the car while he went to get his clothes. But when he stepped into the rented house full of memories, he found that it had been repossessed by the landlord. Unable to contact his birth mother, Mike sat in a corner in despair, feeling loneliness and helplessness like never before. His tall frame made it hard to believe that he was just a 16-year-old boy. Michael was abandoned at birth by his father and his mother was a complete drug addict. So the authorities took away her parental rights and placed all her children in foster care. But the fights in the foster home beat on Michael's broken heart. Her uncle is forced by family pressure to refer Mike to a high school sports coach. A decision that means Mike's life with her uncle is cut short. The coach wanted to decline this sudden request, but when he turned his head to look out the window, he noticed Mike's extraordinary performance on the field. His seemingly bulky body displayed amazing agility and speed, and every movement revealed underlying strength and grace. The coach's eyes lit up and he immediately decided to keep this rare athletic talent. But the principal looked at Mike's resume and was surprised to find that his previous school records gave him a failing grade and even an intelligence level of only about 6 years old. The teachers at the school were skeptical, believing that the coach wanted to enroll Mike in order to brighten his own career. But the coach insisted on keeping Mike, believing that Mike's failing grades were due to the poor quality of education in his ghetto. The coach's insistence eventually led to Mike's enrollment as he cautiously walked into the classroom, his tall frame seemed out of place and his worn sneakers made his classmates look at him with disdain while the knowledge in the textbook was clearly beyond his ability. When the class was dismissed, the teacher noticed that Mike's paper was blank, but on the back of the paper was a drawing of a boat, and sitting in the boat was Mike himself, a silent expression of Mike's inner loneliness, with nowhere else to go. Mike often sat alone in the corner of the stadium quietly watching game after game. In the hustle and bustle of the crowd his silhouette seems particularly lonely. After the game, he would pick up the popcorn that people threw away and quietly clean up the trash left in the stands. Maybe it's just fate that his actions are always witnessed by someone with a heart of gold. Mike's life seems to be a pool of stagnant water repeating the same rhythm day after day with no waves or expectations. His existence seems to be forgotten by the world until the Sean family comes along and turns his tragic life around.
Hey, Big Mike, where you headed?
Jim?
Where?
Watching the figure shivering in the rain fade away, Annie suddenly realized that the gym had already closed and immediately asked her husband to turn the car around and catch up with Mike. Annie got out of the car and asked Mike earnestly where he was going, and Mike's uncertain tone proved that he was homeless. Annie immediately turned to her husband and gave him a look that he knew exactly what she meant. The car finally stopped in front of a brightly lit villa, and Mike felt like he was in another fairy tale. However, when he walked into the house, the person who was shocked turned out to be his sister, who was wearing a face mask at home. Looking at the family's natural introduction of Mike's sister could only answer helplessly, "That's okay," due to the clutter of the guest room cannot be used and can only help him first to make a comfortable sofa bed. Mike sat on the sofa and looked around the room feeling the warmth he hadn't felt in a long time, but soon he was attracted to the picture book on the coffee table. The picture of a family sitting around the dining room table was so cozy that he couldn't help but think back to his own childhood memories. Upstairs, and tossed and turned, unable to sleep, she began to worry about Mike stealing the family's belongings in the quiet of the night, but her husband reassured her to let go of her worries. The next day, as the morning light filtered through the curtains, and anticipated the chaos in the house, but as she slowly made her way down the stairs, she found neatly folded sheets on the couch and a spotless floor in the living room, where Mike was preparing to embark on the next leg of his wandering journey. Annie rushes after him and out of guilt and natural kindness, she warmly invites Mike to spend Thanksgiving with them. After the meal, Annie wanted to buy him some new clothes, but Mike said that he had all his clothes in his biological mother's rental house. But when they arrived at the rental house, they found that the landlord had already repossessed the house. Seeing that Mike returned empty-handed, Annie instantly realized what had happened. She didn't hesitate to take Mike to a nearby shopping mall and insisted on buying him some new clothes. In the many clothing stores, Mike felt a sense of bewilderment that he had never felt before. He didn't know how to choose from all the different kinds of clothes, and eventually he just chose the cheapest ones. From that day on, Annie would take Mike and Sean to school every day. Watching the two children's happy backs in the sunshine filled Annie's heart with an inexplicable sense of security. After school, Annie not only had to tell Sean to do his homework, she also had to make up the couch for Mike. She felt that it wasn't a good idea for Mike to sleep on the couch couch all the time, so she asked him seriously if he would like to stay.